See who is actually gonna take it. Stick around. Hello and welcome to game number 6 of a day where we see 10 games in total. We are halfway there. We are still in the group stages. It is Group B that we're back into, I believe, or is it the last one of Group A? It is confusing. There's only 2 groups though, so it's like 50-50. But it is Group A that we're gonna be in. And the one that you hear laughing at me is Beckermont, who is my co-caster.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. It's what is it? 10 a.m. there? 10:30? 11:30 a.m.?
It is 11:30, 11:20.
And you've been casting since
5 a.m. You too!
So, a little bit different times, but yeah.
But yeah, okay. Maybe you got a little bit more sleep.
I wouldn't say that necessarily, but it's okay. Musi, I mean, this is a game that they're going to have a tremendous amount of difficulty winning, but it'll always be exciting to watch. Of course, this is a team that has a Dota 1 legend on it, Papa Xiong, so you see him in the 3 slot here, actually. I think he was drafting for them yesterday.
He was.
But this time they have 8GK drafting. Of course, 8GK also a Dota 2 veteran. What team was he on before this team? I can't remember.
I don't know.
But nonetheless, I mean, they've switched up the drafters. I only saw one game of Musi yesterday. They weren't very convincing. Papa Xiong had a lot of trouble contributing as Jakiro, but if you're sort of a Dota 1 star, it does take a while to adjust to Dota 2.
Yeah.
A lot of mechanics work just that slight bit differently that completely throws you off, right? Like if you're intimately familiar with one particular system, a slightly different system can just completely throw you for a loop. So still looking for them to put together a convincing performance in this tournament, but just being here is already pretty good.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, they are definitely the underdogs, though, as you mentioned, and they're not an easy group either. But at least it's the easiest group, if you will. So far, their results have been 2-0, though, if I'm correct, and that's, of course, gonna be the result of them just, you know, slightly being outclassed. They are picking up a Gyrocopter, Shadow Demon, and Nyx Assassin. That makes for a nice trail lane, I think, and I hope for them that it's gonna be working out. Shadow Demon, Nyx Assassin, disable upon disable. Also a very good roaming potential on those two. And a Gyrocopter. That works well together with both of those as well. And Nyx Assassin, even if you want to, of course, you can run a mid as we have seen earlier today. So it's not even specifically a trail lane yet. On the side of LGD, we have got ourselves an Alchemist and a Magnus. Again, a Magnus? I'm not really convinced about the Magnus at the moment, but if he does good in his mid lane, which we have seen happen, then he is going to be helping his team quite a large amount.
I mean, we have to keep in mind, I think, the fact that when Magnus was ridiculously overpowered, there was one person in the world who was, by a clear margin, the best Magnus player. And that was Yao. And LGD recently have been running Yao more often in the mid on heroes like Dragon Knight and Magnus. I expect him to be piloting the Magnus here, although Xiao8 is also a competent Magnus player, and it could be very strong. I mean, sure, RP no longer does amazing damage. Sure, he's not going to get his Blink Dagger quite as quickly in the mid lane, but once he gets that Blink, once those RPs start raining down, if you secure the Magnus together with an Alchemist and you get 3 people caught in the RP, once that unstable concoction hits, you've essentially stunned 7 seconds the entire enemy team and gotten them to half health.
Yeah, that is a very potent combination, and unlucky for them, they banned out the Darkseer themselves. That would have been nice to have, but of course, otherwise they would probably not have been able to secure the Alchemist. They are going to have the Leshrac though, so if you're talking about AoE stuns upon AoE stuns, you're going to be having another AoE stun to add to that one. The Split Earth, of course, going to be there. And on the lane together with an Alchemist, actually a very decent combination as well. So they don't even need the Bane, even though the Bane is, of course, a nice hero to set up for the unstable concoction, but I mean, they don't need to stay on the lane, as in one of those can go roam, can go gank, but Alchemist already a good combination with either of the 2 supports without the help of the other. We have a Doom ban out for the last one of Musi. They are missing an offlaner on LGD. I wasn't necessarily expecting a Doom, but hey, That's the one that got banned out. And the last ban for LGD Gaming probably gonna be banning out a bit of a mid-hero that they don't want to face, considering the mid-hero is not yet picked up by Musi unless the Nyx Assassin will be taken on that role. And it really depends on what LGD Gaming is expecting that Nyx Assassin is gonna be here.
It's actually kind of funny. I think that right now in Dota 2 there's a bug that Doom doesn't actually remove Flak Cannon, or was that already patched? I think it's patched in this patch that hasn't come out yet. So Doom would not necessarily be that great of a pick for LGD. He is still pretty good against Gyrocopter, but he'll be quite good against Gyrocopter once he actually disables Flak Cannon.
Yeah, they ban out the Puck. They'll pick up the Storm Spirit. I mean, also a very strong mid, and has got a bit of the same thing as the Magnus. It's gonna be really like whoever gets level 6 first will be able to win the lane, I think. And depending, of course, on the rotations of the supports. But both Storm Spirit and Magnus, they won't really die all that much before level 6. Maybe Storm if he indeed gets ganked, but Magnus, of course, has an escape. But they won't really be able to kill either without supports. Of course, Storm Spirit will still have that Vortex, but he can't really kill by himself unless Magnus makes mistakes and vice versa. So it's going to be a bit of a stalemate mid lane, I think, unless, like I say, again, the supports are going to rotate. And both teams have got a lineup for supports. They've got a duo of supports that is very mobile and is very good in terms of trying to get some ganks going. So that also means that we're probably going to have 2 safe lanes, I think.
Most likely. I would say that the Storm Spirit pick is a little bit speculative from Musi. Maybe they feel that, you know, they are the underdogs. That is a correct feeling. They are the underdogs against LGD, considered by almost, I think, just about everybody to be one of the premier teams of the world. So when you're the underdog, sometimes maybe you feel you have to play the percentages a little bit. Storm's a great hero to play the percentages with. If he does extremely well, I don't see much on LGD that'll be able to stop him outside of maybe a very good Fiend's Grip positioning. But then, as long as they do well early, especially if they can involve Nyx Assassin in some early ganks, and you can see Papa Xiong on the Nyx Assassin does have 2 sentry wards. Sorry, I should say, he does have a smoke already. So if they can involve the Nyx Assassin, and if 8GK, I just remembered, he used to be on 4Love. If 8GK can do well on the Storm, and they do well on Nyx, then Nyx will take care of Leshrac and Bane in fights, and Storm Spirit can just ruin the day of, you know, heroes like Magnus, maybe even the Alchemist.
Yeah, I fully agree. So on the side of LGD, we have got the Alchemist, played by Salar. DDC will be on the Leshrac. Also on the bottom lane for now is going to be Yao. He's going to be playing the Bounty Hunter this game, so no Magnus for him. It will be DD playing the Bane, and then the one that has to play the Magnus this game is Zao8. As we see him on different lanes today. Different roles.
Yeah, so in this game, Yao is usually their Bounty Hunter player, so they've put Xiao8 on the Magnus.
30 seconds.
Yeah, it makes sense, and he'll be returning to mid in that sense. Last time we saw him play Magnus was in a pretty crazy game against Navi, where sometimes his RPs were awful, sometimes they were godlike. So we'll see where on the awful godlike spectrum they fall this game. Was that everybody on LGD?
I think so. 5
I think
people?
so too.
Yeah, it was.
Alright, so looking up towards Musi, still looking for their first win in this group stage. Violet will be carrying on the Gyrocopter. He's joined in the tri-lane by TT on Shadow Demon, and of course Papa Xiong, a person people I think are really happy to see back in the scene, of course, since his days at Kingsurf. Then that leaves FYMS to go up into the jungle on the Nature's Prophet, and HGK will be in the middle as Storm Spirit. A hero definitely to watch. If LGD can keep this Storm Spirit from being a huge factor, I just kind of see them rolling their way through this game.
Yeah, and already we are seeing that Nature's Prophet is not even going to try to do anything on the bottom lane. He's just going to sit in the jungle and is going to try to farm, but that brings with it a new problem. Yao just wants to farm also, and he would preferably farm the big creeps that the Nature's Prophet leaves for him. And he's actually now pulling the creep wave to the neutrals. That's actually might be helping Musi a little bit.
Well, Gyrocopter doesn't have amazing base damage, so you're forcing him to have to last it under the tower with 49 attack damage. That's not so bad, honestly. Also, it makes it more difficult for FYMS to last hit, and yeah, you see Yao already getting a last hit on one of the creeps there.
Yeah,
one note about Bounty Hunter. Oh, they're going to go for
Disruption
blood.
is there, but there's nobody else there, and he can still go invisible, so he's fine.
the sentries are on the Nyx Assassin, who is quite far away, so not much accomplished there. Bounty Hunter actually was 7-0 in the Alienware Cup that recently ended. Completely undefeated every time he was picked.
That's actually quite impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting that result, actually.
No, because he's a hero that disappeared, right?
Yeah.
And now he's back in a big, big way.
Well, I like it, because if you pick up a Bounty Hunter, it means that you need kills, because otherwise you don't have the track, and of course, that makes for more aggressive games than some people might be expecting from Chinese Dota, and that's something that we should all be happy about, I think. Yao is still making Nature's Prophet lives a bit of a trouble, though he is getting ahead on experience, the Nature's Prophet that is. In the meantime, of course, bottom lane has got free farm, that's Sylar going for level 2 in Grievous Greed, and of course leveling that up as fast as possible. The top lane has got free farm. Violet on the Gyrocopter is doing a little less well, he's still doing okay, less okay than the Alchemist. Alchemist has got more last hits, but then again, he doesn't have to last hit under his tower, and the Gyrocopter does.
Right. I think the Gyrocopter doing... It's fine for Violet to be slightly behind. The one thing is that because Musi are putting no pressure on this tri-lane, how many times have we seen Alchemists not even take Greed early because they're facing so much pressure? Here, Sylar is happy to rank 2 in it by level 3. He's not even bothering getting the 2 in Concoction and 1 in Greed. He's just going all out farm. And you're going to see an Alchemist getting more and more powerful as this game progresses. And unless Musi scramble to start getting some kills when Storm Spirit hits level 6... this Alchemist is going to become a tremendous problem for them.
Yeah, and that just lays a lot of pressure on Violet, because he needs to be, of course, getting that BKB up fairly fast, and then Musi needs to find kills, needs to find pickoffs, and you have got the Nyx Assassin to do that with as well. He is going to be getting a bit of extra levels on the, whoa, that was a very needed pause apparently, that he paused himself. Oh, yeah. Cannot miss last hits, but... he's not missing last hits. But yeah, I mean, that Nyx Assassin making it to level 6 is going to be an important factor, because when that happens, we're going to see Musi probably trying to make more things happen on the map. Of course, they also have a Nature's Prophet, so split push will be important for Musi as well. But we'll see how fast Nature's Prophet can farm up and how big of a problem Yao is going to be for him. And Yao already going back to the lane, actually, because a big wave came in, and he might actually turn level 4 here. And is therefore almost 2 levels ahead on the Nature's Prophet.
This is... I feel bad. I hope it's not too bad in terms of computer issues for the Gyrocopter. This is the second time they've had to pause for him, and I wonder if he's not missing a few last hits by virtue of having some sort of computer issue. That's definitely... I mean, that sucks, right?
Yeah.
When through no fault of your own, you could have missed some last hits. The other factor, of course... Oh, I actually have disconnected, so I'm going to stop talking until I figure this out.
Oh, you have not disconnected on my end just yet, but we'll see you disconnect in a moment, probably. But we have got a rotation. Rejoice, Yao going middle. He is already spotted by a ward, though, so we are seeing KKK being just extra careful. And there is even a sentry ward down, so they already were preparing for the Bounty Hunter to come middle to help out. And now you have indeed disconnected. We see that the Storm Spirit's almost level 6. When he is level 6, we might see something more out of him. For now, OT. Oh, Janada. Is it going to be enough damage? This is the question. No, doesn't look like it. It's going to be fine. Meantime, Pusher getting pressured on the bottom lane. We have the Leshrac already picking up level 2 in Edict. And showing therefore that they want to take down some early towers. And with that, of course, creating some extra gold deficit for Musi. Compared to Musi. There goes a stun. That's gonna be another stun. Is there enough damage? Nope, there's not. They back off. Gonna go for the tower instead. Fortification goes off. But it will be a tower going down, I think. With that Edict level 2, that should not be underestimated. And this is the first tower within 5 minutes of the first 5 minutes. The tower going the way of LGD. It's gonna give a lot of gold towards everybody. And I think you are back.
Yeah, I am back now.
Awesome.
I see that they got a tower, and I see that Sylar... Really? I don't think the game has really changed. I think Sylar's even farther ahead.
Yep.
He's gone the Midas, and this is just... It increases the pressure on Musi, because they'll see this. I mean, your creeps can spot out the fact that the Alchemist is building this, and it puts a tremendous amount of pressure on 8GK. Once again, I mean, it's this Nyx Assassin, Shadow Demon combined with Storm Spirit zipping in will have to generate some kills. This can't remain 0-0 for too long, or Musi will be in very poor shape.
Yeah, and he's actually going to be in poor shape right now, because he's going to get RP'd, and in comes DDC with the Split Earth, with the Edict, and that's going to be Storm Spirit. He is level 6, but the Ball Lightning is... Oh my god, for a second there I thought he was going to get away, but no, he cannot. DDC will end up taking a fall as well, though, so they take a kill in return. Zoe waiting for a second, thinking maybe he's going to go back, but... just lands a shockwave, and then he's gonna go back. That's Storm Spirit. Oh, he just turned level 6. I said during the draft, like, the first one that gets level 6 wins the lane, and it turned out to be the Magnus, but only because of a split-second difference.
Yeah, that was... If he had actually leveled it up and escaped, we'd have to start playing the We Are Electric music.
Yeah.
But no We Are Electric needed. He does go down, and... that's definitely not something you're happy with if you're Musi here. I mean, they definitely need this Storm Spirit to be doing better. 25 last hits is not bad, but he's getting pretty handled by Xiao8 in the mid.
Yeah, for sure. But he is now level 6, so you were talking about the combination of the Nyx Assassin and the Shadow Demon just setting up for a kill. They need to happen, and they can't really happen on the Alchemist, so you're... like, they have said, you know what? We know there's going to be an Alchemist free farmer, so then you also know what kind of build he's going to go for. I mean, there's no surprise. You saw that he went extra greedy, went for a Hand of Midas. Going to be putting him more ahead. But you can't take him down. And you know that too, because when he gets level 6, it's just very tough to take. So you have to gank on someone else. And who do you gank then? Mid lane would be, of course, the logical option, or trying to roam into the Radiant jungle. But mid lane is going to be the place where they should be wanting to be. The supports though sitting top, and they are still so low level. We have level 5 Nyx Assassin. At least he is getting a bit priority on the levels purely because they know they need to have the levels to try and take down people with the Vendetta, of course. But level 3 still on the Shadow Demon, and they won't be able to kill off the Bounty Hunter either for now. They still have a Sentry Ward though. They have just placed a new one, and oh no, that's the last one. That's the last Sentry Ward they had.
In my opinion, killing Yao is not that important here. Oh, nice Nightmare.
Yeah.
2 TPs in though, and Sylar may just have to leave.
Yeah,
that was a nice... I like that they canceled them. They just completely protect the Nature's Prophet, but they don't try to commit to a fight that they won't be able to catch. But if they get a fast Vendetta, I think they should just hunt Leshrac and Bane mercilessly. Try to keep these supports from hitting their levels, becoming more and more factors in the game, and then worry about, once you've cleared the supports out, or once the supports aren't very well able to defend the Alchemist, that's when you can try to pierce through and kill him. Keep in mind, Sylar only level 7, and 3 of those are in Greevil's Greed. His stun isn't that amazing, his spray isn't that amazing, and he's not tremendously tanky. He's very killable, despite his net worth beginning to spike out of control.
Well, we'll see if they try to make something happen. I think that they want to... If they are going to go for a kill, go for different kills is probably more profitable, I think. As we have got Bane just trying to get some extra farm. He needs to have a level 6, so should someone indeed go up on the Alchemist, there's going to be a Fiend script on whoever, and then they can try to turn it around. Of course, if they are going to go for the Alchemist, he's probably going to sit near his tower, and TPs can come in, and all that jazz. But so far, Musi sitting still, not doing anything. They have rotated the Shadow Demon mid to get a bit of levels there. We have a haste run up on the Storm Spirit, but there's no kill on the board just yet. On the side of Musi, that is not the, well, the Leshrac in the mid lane earlier on.
Right. And Xiao8 will also hit a incredibly fast blink if he keeps up with this. He's got 56 for 11 last hits in the mid, 1,700 gold on top of his Arcane Boots. A lot of the times the good, quote-unquote good timings you see for Blink on Magnus are because he skipped Arcane Boots, which occasionally happens if they're not doing so well. But here he's going to hit the Blink at about 10:30 maybe? Will this creep wave get him? I don't think this creep wave will get him there, but he's very, very close to the Blink Dagger, and that's going to be extremely scary for the Dire.
Yeah, I have a stuttering Dota again. This time only Dota, not on stream, luckily for me, but it's not looking too funny here. Hopefully it will pass and it will be solved shortly. But, oh, well, at least we see Nature's Prophet normally last hitting things because he's just jungling. That's awesome. So yeah, Musi, when are you thinking that they are going to be trying to go for some kills?
I think they had to kind of start doing it yesterday, frankly. Do they have Vendetta on Nyx Assassin? I believe they do. Yes, they have the Vendetta.
It's actually already
I don't know.
respawnsed.
I really, really think it has to happen so quickly, because now that you have Magnus with Blink, you can't even try to gank LGD when they're under their tower, because Magnus will TP there, Blink on top of you, and RP, and you lose. Right now, Sylar, because they have cleared this tier 1 tower, and it's not a bulwark against the advancement of the creep wave, this means, in my opinion, that this DD plus Sylar section is the most gankable. And it's what Musi should be focusing on trying to pick off here. And I think that's what they're going for. Storm and Nyx are smoked.
Yeah, they, we'll see what they can find. Shadowblade, in the meantime, purchased on by Sylar. He doesn't have it yet, though. It's the courier that's bringing them to him. But that means that it's a race between the courier and the two ganking heroes, because they have no detection.
Ugh, if they jump on top of them, they won't even, honestly. I think the Vendetta has run out, and the smoke is running out as well.
Yeah, DD gets spotted out, but that's not the target that they want to have, so they don't want to risk jumping in there not knowing what they want to do.
For one brief, terrifying moment, I thought maybe Sylar would go Battle Fury after Midas. But no, he's gotten a more actionable item, the Shadow.
Whoa, Blink, RP, hello Zow8 with your Blink Fiend Skip as well, Storm Spirit, no ball lightning for him, and that's a kill. In comes the rest of Musi though. Can they get something done? Impale goes off Zow8, he already had his RP, but he's completely out of mana now, has got one bottle charges, gets Proud up. Can they take him down is the question. Should be doable indeed, and they get it. In comes Sylar with the haste room with the stun, and he starts on the Gyro Company, takes him down, looking for more. The track is still up on the Nyx Assassin, and I don't think he'll be able to make it out. One more hit from the Leshrac will do the job. Double kill for DDC, and TT will get himself up, but that's 3 kills going the way of LGD, only 1 taken in return for Musi, and that's not the kind of mid-game that Musi wants.
Yeah, and all of a sudden DDC is floating 1,500 gold for himself, so even this Leshrac may become a force for danger coming in on Musi. And that's the nice thing about Bounty Hunter, even though they don't have that many kills, there was a track kill in there, a little bit of extra gold for that Leshrac, and that's just LGD leveraging the farm advantage, right? First the Blink to get rid of Storm Spirit. Even if that was a bald trade of Magnus for Storm Spirit, they'd be happy with it. Magnus, now that he has his Blink, it's just not that important for him to hit any more items. It's a nice to have, but it's not critical. Whereas Storm Spirit very much is a pretty item-dependent hero to continue snowballing and being effective. So killing 8 GK there was nice, and then the sweetener was they also picked off 2 additional heroes, one of them in a track, Sylar showing the Shadow Blade in full force.
Yeah, and that was... I mean, that just says, like, okay, you know what? I have a Shadow Blade, I might have a Hand of Midas that he hasn't used in a while, by the way. But he is not going to sit around and continue to farm for very much longer. Like, he is ready to fight, and he wants to. And that's going to be something for Musi that they will have a trouble dealing with that. Because they were probably kind of hoping that, you know, even though we don't really get that much kills right now, at least we know that we're only going to be up against 4 for a while, because, you know, Sylar goes for a very greedy build, picks himself now a Hyper Stone, but, you know, with the Shadow Blade, he's actually able to fight quite a lot, so that's going to be more trouble for Musi as we see them just struggling to create space on the map. They still, of course, have got Violet farming, almost getting a BKB, and with almost, I mean that he still needs his Mint Throw Hammer. So 1,600 gold to go. They also have got, of course, Nature's Prophet, who is, by the way, building a mechanism for the team. And he has that complete, but not turning into the split pusher / semi-carry that maybe Musi needs him to be.
Will Storm just die?
No, here comes a very long stun. Yeah, he will just die.
Ouch. Sylar waiting very, very late to just let go the absolute full duration from the shortest range possible. It does have a travel time, so Storm, you want to do it very close. And they may get Papa Strong as well. Where's the Split Earth?
Yep,
there it is on Shadow Demon.
They won't be able to get the Nyx Assassin. Shadow Demon kind of giving his life for that Fiend Skip up on the Nature's Prophet. And Nature's Prophet running away. Is there going to be a track? No track. There's a
They've
track.
already...
But
well, they had the extra movement speed from Papa Strong.
And Nature's Prophet actually still gets... Blink in RP, wait a second. Oh, missed skewer. Awkward. Brain Step's still going to be there, and the Split Earth. That's still going to be a kill, though. Magnus makes it right. Nightmare up on Papa Jean. Well, lightning in. Can he get a double kill? Here is the question. DDC able to get himself another stun there. And we'll end up going down. And Nature Prophet in the end, by the way, he went down to the urn charge, of course. Nice stun coming up from Sylar. Shadow Demon goes down for the second time this fight. And it looks like Papa John should be able to get himself out, unless they just go dive the tower right now, which they might actually do. There is still a Spike Carapace. He was trying to bait it out. He gets it right now, but Sylar stuns himself because of it. Ball lightning in. No more mana left though, but the dust is popped. He's looking for the pickup. There's still a tier 2 tower that will help out as well. And hello, Nature's Prophet walking right into him as well. Now Zhao. Yo still having the dust up on him. It's gonna vanish though. Yeah, he's not safe. Sentry Ward goes down. Sprout, Impale. And that's at least a couple of kills that Musi takes back. Needed kills as well. And of course one of those on the Alchemist. Might be a long chase, but I think it was worth it.
It's very nice to be able to finally pick up a kill on the Alchemist, his first death of the game, a kill on Yao's Bounty Hunter, his first death. Those are good kills, but I still like what LGD are doing. I like this rendition of LGD with a lead better than I liked the rendition of LGD that let Orange climb back into the game fairly trivially yesterday. So I like that they're pressing their advantage. I like these dives past the tier 2. The Bounty Hunter is being very, very aggressive, and they're just Musi back into their base again and again. I like it a lot, even if it gives away maybe a few kills that could be regarded as unnecessary.
Yeah, Musi does of course lose their courier, which by the way has a very funny animation when it dies. He just falls flat in his face. Can you see it? Where the pink came out.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Right? It's awesome.
That's a little bit of a tragedy there.
Yep. But yeah, LGD, I mean, yes, they lost Alchemist, and yes, it's good for Musi to take down that Alchemist, but they need to do it a lot more than just once. Because look at his gold per minute.
Yeah.
It is double the amount of the highest of Musi, which is a Nature's Prophet, which should, in theory, be a very fast farmer.
No Midas, so keep in mind there's not that accelerating the Nature's Prophet. Irony of ironies, I mean, Nature's Prophet, no Midas, and Alchemist who, you know, hardly needs it. The rich get richer here with the very early Midas for Sylar. And I kind of like the mechanism here, but this does mean that unlike Orange, if LGD gives Musi a lot of time to just get free farm, they won't even get that much, because the Nature's Prophet, with this teamfight-oriented build, there's not the Shadow Blade to go from camp to camp or to split push. There's not the Midas to get the extra farm. They just won't be getting all that big, other than the Gyrocopter, maybe.
Yeah, and they're going with 5 people on the bottom lane. Smoked up they are, with the Bounty Hunter scouting the way. The tier 2 tower is already very low. We do have Papa Jean around there. I mean, he's still a next assassin, but he can't find any pickups. It's just so tough. And also because LGD is just sticking together right now. Not because of fear for anything. Oh, Blink RP gets 2. The track is there as well. That's gonna be nice Split Earth. And brilliant execution coming up from LGD.
I think they were surprised at how easy that was, because DDC used the DD used the Bane ultimate, and it lasted what, half a second before he started.
I didn't even see it. That's how fast it was.
Yeah, he lifted his arms, the animation started, and the person was dead. Yeah. That is how quickly.
And they're gonna go again, looking for the stun from Sylar. Is actually gonna end up stunning himself, but it's gonna be okay. The Gyrocopter does not have his BKB yet. I remember seeing it. Whoa, nice pick off. I think Nature's Prophet is gonna pay for that one though. Split Earth is gonna be there, and that's gonna be a pick up for the Bounty. A track kill, another one. And the courier actually was getting the drums towards Yao.
Well, they lose the courier. That's something. I feel that LGD, if they wanted to, could seize Roshan. You see this ward. They've got good vision of either way that Musi could try to pick off their Rosh. Well, they decide not to go for it. Sylar just killing off the Ancients. He is somewhat low, although he's got Chemical Rage in 10 seconds. Yeah, he's just TPing back.
Now
full cuirass, I mean,
and still has 1400 gold.
It's pretty disgusting. 705 gold per minute for Sylar this game. It's starting to venture into Lakel's territory in terms of just the sheer amount of farm he's putting out.
It's really insane. I mean, he still has buyback after just, you know, completing that item. It's pretty crazy. And Musi, I mean, they have got this mid-game lineup with some split push and a Gyrocopter at the end for late game. But their Gyrocopter, like I remember saying when we still on the top lane, like he doesn't have his Minthor Hammer yet, but he should have it because he had farm at that point. He is still quite far away from having it.
Oh yeah.
He's still 800 gold away.
Just to,
Sorry.
I mean, the easiest perspective is Magnus has BKB, Gyrocopter does not.
Yeah. Now Magnus had a good lane in the mid. I have to grant him that. But it was a free farming Gyrocopter. So he should have also got some pretty decent farm.
He may have had computer issues. I feel
True.
like he did, but it doesn't fully excuse it. He's also sort of been driven around the map in an attempt to participate in some fights. But the very early BKB rushing Gyrocopter, even though you need the BKB for survivability, Flak Cannon gives you good AoE damage, but not great.
Oh, RP up on 2. There they go again, and that's gonna be one track kill. The Sprout is up. He tries to TP himself out. Not able to do so though. In comes the Fiend Script. The track wasn't there yet for the kill, but I don't think they mind all too much. Another 2 kill on the board. It is 14-5. The gold draft doesn't lie. 15. Come on, can you stop doing that? That was a Sylar was by himself, finds an assassin and a Shadow Demon, and he just picked them off because he could. But yeah.
Well, if you could pick them, I mean, why not? If
yeah.
you can,
Okay.
right?
Fair
I
enough.
have to say, a nice little play by FYMS maintaining his Treant micro to ensure that he got the last hit on the tower, even though he died. So that's something. Unfortunately, that's about all that I can say as far as things that have been going right for the Dire this game. Gyrocopter now down to 0-4-1. He hasn't even gotten that good teamfight participation, despite the attempt to join some of the teamfights. And that's really what's holding this BKB back. It's just the consistently losing the unreliable gold every time he dies, and he has barely any reliable gold because he's barely participated in fights, in kills. He will have the BKB at the end of, once he kills the siege creep, so I don't even know how much that changes.
Yeah, we are gonna see the Nature's Prophet trying to go for the middle tower. Sylar was looking for him though. And the rest of LGD also. They are gonna at least be able to deny this tower. And I think that Nature's Prophet is gonna be okay. Yeah, he should be okay.
Yeah, I don't see FYMS. Keep in mind he's got the Force Staff too. He's positioned in such a way that even if he sees LGD coming, he could have Force Staffed himself up to this high ground and TP'd out from there.
Yeah, we have got a BKB finally up on the Gyrocopter. So next fight, we'll see how much of a difference that makes, because by now it's not going to make that big of a difference anymore. The amount of damage that Sylar can put out, and of course the fact that he has got a Basher as well, is definitely not helping Gyrocopter's case. Oh, Blinking. No RP. Disruption. Soul Catcher. Cooldown. Zawei turns on his BKB. Tries to get himself out there. BKB also turned on by the Gyrocopter. Sylar ends up stunning himself, but I don't think he minds too much. He's super tanky. We'll be able to stay alive for a little while longer. Spike Carapace goes up, making sure that Yao gets stunned, and everybody of Musi goes back behind their
Except HJK,
walls.
who gets picked off.
Whoa.
Really nice low ground to high ground Fiend's Grip from DD there.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
I thought
And
he
yeah,
was back
honestly,
off with his
LGD
team, but oh well.
That was not a good fight. Like,
Oh.
they didn't do well, but they're so far ahead, they're completely dominating, that Musi has really no effective way to take advantage of a poorly considered fight from LGD. Like, Sylar completely let the perfect be the enemy of the good. He didn't throw it on anybody besides Gyrocopter, who was BKB'd, and it didn't matter. Even though he stunned himself, it didn't matter. Maybe this high ground defense goes better?
Yeah,
Maybe not.
Disruption is going to keep Nature's Prophet safe for a little while longer, but it's only a very little while, because there he still goes. Papajon trying to run, nice Spike Carapace doing some damage to DDC, but in comes Awade with a blink, with a skewer, and ends up going down to the Janata of the Bounty Hunter, and that is gonna be a Rax on the mid lane.
I quite like this Bane as well. I feel like LGD have been picking it more often this tournament than they have been lately, and it's fitting in quite well. DD, excellent execution this game with the Bane.
Aggressive force stuff, nice BKB though, and BKB doesn't stop you from getting RP'd, so Gyrocopter will just be held in place as most of his BKB duration gone. Nightmare up on the Storm. The question is, does LGD continue going? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Buy Storm Spirit, and then look for more. Sun getting charged up again. Disruption will be there, but will only make sure that Sylar can get a longer duration stun up on someone else. And look at that. Stun up on Violet. He won't be able to go into the base, but it doesn't matter. They do take down Shadow Demon, and of course, with that, they'll be able to just rotate towards the bottom lane, tier 3 tower next.
Yeah, I think just on execution alone, LGD were always extremely likely to win this. They are a team that almost every player has been playing longer, more intensely at a higher level than the players on Musi have. And the interesting thing to me is more, what does this say about LGD's strategy in general? And I do really like the aggressive posture and how the Bane fits into that.
Yeah. And I guess Bounty Hunter remains his positive win streak. Nice disruption. Nice by Carapace though, still hits. That's still gonna be Nyx Assassin dead because here comes Joe. And the track kill it is. Storm Spirit goes down again as well. They should probably next. 4 dead again. They do take down 2 with them, but the GG gets called. Moosey, they tap out. So we will see LGD taking the point here. They are doing very good in their group stages. Of course, this is just the 6th game of the 10 that they are seen today. So the next matchup will be IG taking on VC Gaming.
I was just watching Yao finish up that ultra kill and I was thinking, just imagine if they had never nerfed the track armor decrease on Bounty Hunter. How utterly, insanely broken that would be with Unstable Concoction the way it is these days. Yeah. Good thing they nerfed it, because Bounty Hunter is pretty damn good as is.
Yep, and they've proven here. I mean, the kills that they got, the gold that they got, it doesn't lie. Though, to be fair, Moosey kind of helped them by not being aggressive early enough. I think the rotations from the support kind of lacked, and therefore, of course, Storm going down first. It could have gone better. It could have gone a lot better. But we're going to see our next game, though. Of course, you're watching the RedBull Esports Champions League. To be on the Summit presentation, casted by me, Shiver, and my co-caster, Vikromond. And I can't actually post the Twitters in the chat because apparently my chat doesn't want to work. And therefore, Vikromond, could you spell your name on Twitter, please?
VYKROMOND. Also, I mean, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, website, all that good stuff.
Yeah, for me, it is Shiver Gaming on the sites that you can think of. So let's jump ourselves to the next game. Like I said, IG taking on VG Gaming. Stick around.